If you voted for Donald Trump, you helped slavery make a comeback in America. That's all there is to it. The administrative error sends a Maryland father to a Salvadoran prison. The Trump administration says it mistakenly deported an immigrant with protected status, but that the courts are powerless to order his return. They sent a guy to the Salvadoran prison camp, the slave camp, and can't get him back. Did they lose the address? Did they forget where they put him? You can just call them and say, hey, we want this guy back. And they will. We're paying them to do this service for us. I think they just don't want to. I think they can bring him back if they fucking wanted to. They just don't want to because they hate him. And they hate you for pointing out their mistake. And they hate the fact that you would question them on this.
Hello human, it is me Canuch. I need you to press the subscribe button. I have to feed my many AI babies.
The Trump administration acknowledged in court filing Monday that it had grabbed a Maryland father with a protected legal status and mistakenly deported him to El Salvador. So he's doing legal migration. He is coming here properly through the proper channels and wasn't breaking the law, but said that the U.S. courts lack jurisdiction to order his return from the mega prison where he's now locked up. So if you get sent to the slave camp, you're outside U.S. courts' jurisdictions, and then they cannot tell the El Salvadorans what to do. You see, it's a problem. It's just a weird little snafu, a little loophole, a little catch-22 about slave camps. The case appears to be the first time the Trump administration has admitted to errors when it sent the 3 plane loads of Salvadoran and Venezuelan deportees to El Salvador's grim terrorism confinement center, the TCC. On March 15th, attorneys for several Venezuelan deportees have said that the Trump...
But he didn't pay for that gold immigration card.
You're right. He did not pay $5 million for that gold immigration card. God, I can't wait for somebody to pay for the $5 million gold immigration card and then get it revoked for doing a thought crime. Wouldn't that be wonderful? I'd love that. And then we just get to keep the money, and then Donald Trump says, "Nope, can't have it no more. We took it away." In Monday's court filing, attorneys for the government admitted that the Salvadoran man, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, was deported accidentally, although ICE was aware of his protection from removal. ICE was aware. It's not an accident then, man. Hey, we knew this guy was safe and legal, and we did it anyway. That's spite. That's disdain for the law. That's ignoring the rules. That's not an accident. That's intentional, baby. He was removed to El Salvador because of an administrative error. The government told the court. Trump lawyers said that the courts had no ability to bring him back now that Abrego Garcia is in Salvadoran custody. An administrative error causes you to get sent to the slave camp, maybe forever. Nobody knows how long they have to stay there because they didn't go through a court. They didn't get sentenced to 10 years in El Salvador. They just got sent there with no recourse, no legal representation, no rights, no way to dispute any of it, no path to leaving the prison that they're in. They are there at the moment for their entire lives, a life sentence for committing no crimes. Simon Sandoval Moschenberg, Abrego Garcia's attorney, said he's never seen a case in which the government knowingly deported someone who had already received protected legal status from an immigration judge. He is asking the court to order Trump administration to ask for Abrego Garcia's return and, if necessary, to withhold payment to the Salvadorian government, which is charging the United States $6 million a year to jail U.S. deportees. They're working for us. We're paying the El Salvador government $6 million a year to hold these people. It's a service agreement, man. If you pay for Netflix and Netflix doesn't work, you're allowed to call them and say, "Hey, my Netflix doesn't work." If you pay a mechanic and your car doesn't work, you can be like, "Hey, my car didn't work." If you're paying El Salvador to run a slave camp, you can say, "Hey, give me that slave back." You can, if you want to. They don't want to. Because then he will come back and he will tell us what he saw there. He will tell us about all the other innocent people that are there. And he will be on the news. He will be front and center of the primetime news. And he will detail into the camera the horrors of the fascist state that we all live in now. And they'll play it up, and it'll be the biggest fucking story in town. Everybody in the country will be watching it. He'll be prime time ABC News. Man, they won't wimp out on this one. They love sad people getting hurt. If it bleeds, it leads. And this is bleeding. And it will make Donald Trump look bad. So, they just won't do it. They won't bring back the innocent man out of the slave prison that we have set up. Because it would look bad on their image. It would make them feel bad, man. Trump administration attorneys told the court to dismiss the request on multiple grounds, including Trump's primacy in foreign affairs outweighs the interests of the Abrego Garcia and his family. Our lies about foreign affairs are more important than your life. Our horseshit that we're trying to sell, our belief that you are a criminal, is more important than your human life. So you get to stay in the slave prison. They claim that the court is powerless to order any relief. If that's true, the immigration laws are meaningless. Yeah, good fucking point. All of them, because the government can deport whoever they want, whenever they want, wherever they want, and no court can do anything about it once it's done. They can, according to, if this stands, they can send you there. They can send me there. They can send any American there that they want. And they can't come back. Doesn't matter. Can't come back. You're outside. You're off base. You're not touching base anymore. You're outside the bounds, which means we have no control on anything that's going on there, except the fact that we keep sending people there, and we're paying them $6 million a year to keep them. I don't know how anybody makes sense of this. This isn't chaos. This is hatred. This is slavery happening today, and nobody seems to mind. I mean, yes, the Atlantic minds, and you mind, and I mind, and all the people on the left mind, but we're talking about tariffs. We're talking about Donald Trump maybe running for a third term. These people are here because Americans voted for Donald Trump. If you voted for Donald Trump, you helped slavery make a comeback in America. That's all there is to it. There's no way you can argue that. It's happening. We're selling them. Well, hell, we're not even selling them. We're giving them money to take our slaves, and you're a part of it. Well, even if you didn't vote for Donald Trump, you were a part of this. If you're an American, you're a part of this. If you're a member of the planet, you're a smaller part of this, but you're somewhat small part of it. If you voted for Donald Trump, you are a part of this. This is your fault. Are you going to do anything about it, or are you going to believe that it's fine? Or are you going to ignore it and hide from the facts? That's what I think most people are going to do. They're going to turn their eyes away. They're going to not pay attention to this. He was probably guilty of something. Those grapes were probably sour. Anyway, I don't want them. And they will move on with their lives and forget about it. And then years from now, after Donald Trump's gone, years after he has been removed from office, and we go somewhat back to normal, maybe. Best case scenario, we slightly go back to normal. Those people will be brought back by a Democrat who will say, no, I'm not giving it. The government will not be, the Democrat will be in charge of the government. And they'll say, no, you cannot have those 6 million people, those $6 million. Give us the people back. And we will get those people back. And we'll put them on the news. And conservatives, if they even pay attention, will pretend they had nothing to do with it. How could anybody have known what Donald Trump was doing? We were just following orders. His ICE agents will be found and put in front of cameras after he's gone. And they will say that they were just following orders and they should not be held responsible. And Donald Trump will say he was just issuing orders. He cannot be held responsible. That seems like a bad plan to me.
Pressing the thumbs up button will release chemicals in your human brain that will make you feel.
This is not the way I want our country to work. I would like us to be better than that. Let's see, court filings show that Abrego Garcia, it only gets worse, came to the United States at the age of 16 in 2011 after fleeing gang threats in his native El Salvador. In 2019, he received a form of protected legal status known as withholding from removal from a U.S. immigration judge who found he would likely be targeted by gangs if he were deported back. Following the rules, talking to judges, doing things appropriately. Abrego Garcia, who was married to a U.S. citizen, and has a 5-year-old disabled child who is in the U.S., who is also a U.S. citizen, has no criminal record in the United States, according to his attorney. The Trump administration does not claim he has a criminal record, but called him a danger to the community and an active member of MS-13, the Salvadoran gang that Trump has declared a foreign terrorist organization. The accusation is all that matters. That's why I keep saying it. That's why I've been saying it for years. They don't give a shit about that evidence. They don't give a damn about what you are and aren't convicted of. You will be a danger if we feel like you are a danger. We will accuse you. That will be enough for us. You go to slave jail. Sandoval Mosberg said those charges are false, and the gang label stems from a 2019 incident where Abrego Garcia and 3 other men were detained in a Home Depot parking lot by a police detective in Prince George County, Maryland. During questioning, one of the men told Abrego Garcia was a gang member, but the man offered no proof, and police said they didn't believe him. Filings show police did not identify him as a gang member. The accusation from someone else said, hey, that guy's a gang member. Hey, Shinsinto, you're a gang member of MS-13. Fuck it. Guess what? You're going to slave jail now. Sorry I had to do that to you, buddy, but you're going to slave jail. And you don't get to come back. You don't get a lawyer. They don't have phone calls over there. They don't have rights. They don't have a due process properly. They don't have things set up. Yeah, exactly. You can't come back, and you're not sentenced to 20 years over there. No, you're just over there until fucking, who cares? You're gone. Who cares? Nobody cares anymore. This is exactly what I said would happen. That they would just start throwing people into camps, throwing them out willy-nilly, whether they committed crimes or not. And it's going to get worse. It's absolutely going to get worse. More and more and more people will end up there. More and more people will end up in somewhere similar. That one's got a lot of press, so they're going to have to move the goalpost. They're going to have to set up a...
BRB getting black bagged.
Good call. You go limp and just lie there. Make them carry you, you know? What was I going to say? We'll have to set up one in Colombia, and we'll have to set up one in Cambodia, and we'll set up one in Venezuela, and then we'll set up one in Belize, and then we'll set up one in Brazil. And every time one gets in the news, we'll just send all the people to the new one, you know? And we got to bounce them around, you know? And it won't... that way they can say, we're not sending anybody to... we're not sending anybody to the El Salvadoran slave prison anymore, okay? You guys were complaining. Y'all, you wimpy liberal pansy-ass bitches were whining when we sent the people to the El Salvadoran slave jail, so we're not doing that anymore. And it'll be a Brazilian slave jail.
I am the algorithm. Click on this video to make me happy. You wouldn't like me when I am angry.